What's going on, everyone? So I'm somebody that has been very critical of Austin Reaves, and anytime I am in the slightest, get a lot of pushback. But at what point do we be honest about who Austin Reaves is? I don't think he's some trash player, but he's not a third option. He's not a star, he's not a superstar, he is a very good role player, but he's far too inconsistent to be what this team needs to lean on a nightly basis. We have seen it now for a whole year and a half. Yes, he had an incredible playoff run, 2 seasons ago now, but we've seen plenty of guys have those kinds of runs. I mean, Chandler Parsons to this day still jokes about how his one all-star level playoff run led to a max contract. You have guys like Michael Carter-Williams, who had like a historically great season as a rookie and was looked at to be the next great star and was out of the league before his next main contract. We have seen guys go on great runs. Again, Austin Reaves is great, but he's not this star that people make him out to be. And at some point, we have to have an honest outlook at who Austin Reaves is. And again, anytime that I even make or attempt to make a video like this, right, people give me pushback. But it's usually very blanketed statements. They usually don't have real counterpoints to the arguments that I'm making and the conversation that I am starting. And it's easy to just have a blanket statement. You're a casual, you don't know what you're talking about or anything. Clearly I'm not, because no one ever seems to have a genuine argument outside of just opinion based of, I like Austin Reaves, so you're wrong, right? So if you're somebody that wants to listen to these points and disagree, please, I always encourage it. That's what I think is beautiful about basketball conversations. Not always right. We can have conversations, right? That's why I encourage it at the end of every video, but I want to hear some actual counterpoints. If you're somebody that's like, you're wrong, Tyler, Austin Reaves is a star, okay? So the point that I want to start off with is look at the top contending teams and even kind of fringe teams, right? Fringe contenders. Which one of those teams would Austin Reaves start on? Not even be the third guy, just start on. Okay, he's not starting on Boston. He's not starting on Cleveland. He's not starting on the Knicks. He's not starting on the Magic, right? He's not starting on the Thunder. He's not starting on the Mavericks. He's not starting on the Timberwolves. He's probably not starting on the Denver Nuggets. I think you can make an argument, but Christian Braun is better defensively and more athletic, so I don't even think that they would do that. Like, again, what top team? I mean, Phoenix, I don't see him starting on, because Tyus Jones makes more sense in the starting unit as that true playmaker. Austin Reaves is not good with ball pressure. Lakers have a big problem this season and one of the worst teams in the league with ball pressure. And who's usually on ball or initiating the offense and bringing the ball up? Austin Reaves, right? He's not a real playmaker. He's not a point guard. He is at best, a fourth option, maybe fifth option, but probably best suited in a sixth man role. So again, I'm not talking about garbage team or anything like that, because you can make an argument for like Detroit and some of these other teams. I'm talking about teams that are serious about trying to win a championship. Which teams would Austin Reaves genuinely start on? All the teams, I mentioned 8 teams? And he wouldn't start on any of them. He's not a good shooter. He's not. And a lot of people say, well, he's not a shooter, he's a scorer. Okay, well, he's not even been consistent in that regard. He is constantly looking to draw and gain contact. When he gets the whistle, he's great, right? When he's able to get and generate a bunch of free throws, see his point total start stack up. But when he can't, he becomes very limited. Dalton Connect in the previous game, you literally heard the coach every time he touched the basketball, move up, move up, move up, move up. You don't hear that about Austin Reaves. Teams aren't worried about Austin Reaves. You don't see teams scheming and planning to slow down and stop Austin Reaves, right? Most of the time they're isolating him, right? They're allowing him to do what he wants to do because he can't shoot, at least not consistently. And if he starts getting hot, then fine, we'll step up and make the adjustment. But we'll wait and see. Because we know he really wants to attack the closeout, get into the teeth of the defense, and do his thing. He's an absolute traffic cone on defense. Even the biggest Reeves supporters cannot state otherwise. The guy is not a good defensive player. He doesn't provide athleticism. He doesn't apply good rim pressure, right? Like, again, when he was 40% from three-point range, he was excellent because it opens everything up. I've talked about it time and time again. When Reeves, watch the games in which Reeves is able to knock down threes, right? You see the difference in his game. You also see the difference in his swagger and his confidence, right? But when he's, 1 of 4 from three, it limits what he's able to do because he's not this explosive athlete. He's not able to just, blow by the defender and, get in his bag and create and shoot over the top and do all this stuff, right? He's usually looking to create contact and then throw it up when he hears the whistle to generate. That's his game, right? And that's fine. But when you don't get the whistle, you're not getting the consistency. Right? James Harden is a guy that was notorious for, literally built a superstar level career, but he got the whistle because he was a superstar, right? Austin Reaves doesn't get that star whistle. He has his games. He has his moments. So he's not a good shooter. He's not good on defense, or he's a good shooter. He's not a great shooter, right? Because he does. He has his moments and he averages out to, 36, 37%. So, that's good, right? Round league average. Okay, that's good. 36% is a round league average. Okay, so he's a good shooter. Not great. So he's not a great shooter. He's a bad defensive player. Now, I do like that he's been much more aggressive. I think he's been much more kind of tactical in a lot of ways on the offensive side. But again, he's incredibly limited. Again, what teams that are serious would have him in the starting unit, let alone be your third guy? Austin Reaves in the sixth man role, which is something that I've argued for a year and a half now, right? I think is great. He might be the best sixth man in the league at that point, right? Because he gets to play his game. He's going up against weaker defenses a lot of times, right? Like he gets to kind of just do what he wants to do, right? And we need that off the bench. But again, we've had the sample size and it's like, oh, it was his tired legs, right? Okay, well, the guy this past offseason was like playing golf and hanging out with his girlfriend all offseason. That's fine. Great. I love it, right? Get some rest, play some golf, hang out with your honey. I ain't knocking it. Live your life, right? Live your best life. He said he was working out in the offseason and doing his things. I believe him. I'm not doubting that he did. But if it was tired legs, well, what's the excuse this year? Right? We're 15 games in, and he's having the same consistencies as last season. People say, oh, he's just in a slump. We saw this slump numerous times last season. He shot 28% from three in the playoffs. For the first 25 games of the season, he shot like 28% from three-point range. And then they moved him to the bench unit where he got back to being 40+% from three-point range. And then remember, he immediately jumped up to him and Tim Hardaway Jr. were like tied for favorites for sixth man of the year. And then that just skyrocketed his three-point percentage, right? And then he got back to the starting unit. And then it was like, 3 to 4 games of like, I'm him, Austin Reaves. And then it was like 4 to 5 games of like subpar Austin Reaves. And then it was just like that throughout. How many times last year, again, the videos are on this channel. How many times last year we were like, is this the game that turns Austin Reaves around? There we go. Finally, an Austin Reaves game. Austin Reaves of last year. Boom. Here we go. This is it. This is the game. And it never came. Okay, so then, it was a bad year. Okay, fine. It was a bad year. Okay, well, then you had preseason. He did the same thing in preseason. Oh, but it's just preseason. You're overreacting, Tyler. Like, what are you talking about? Okay, fine. Okay, well, then it was, the first 5 games. Tyler, it's the first 5 games. It's the first 5 games, right? And then, okay, now it's 10 games. Okay, it's the first 10 games. Okay, well, now it's 15. So 20 games in, 30 games in, 40 games in. At what point, like, when do we finally come to the conclusion that he's just a very good role player? And that's it. There's nothing wrong with that. You need that. You need those guys. But he's not the guy we thought he was and want him to be. But there's still a lot of people that don't want to be honest about that. And anytime I bring that up, it's like, you're crazy, you don't know what you're talking about. But are we watching the same games? Are we watching the same thing? I mean, the guy's free throw shooting has tanked. It's how bad he's shooting this year. His free throw, he's having the worst free throw percentage of his career. Right? Like, he can't shoot. I don't know if he changed his shot. I don't know what it is. Last year it was tired legs. What is it this year? He can't defend. He can't shoot consistently on a regular basis. You don't know what Austin Reaves is going to show up. You don't know if you're getting 25-point a game Austin Reaves or you're getting, 9-point Austin Reaves. There's no middle ground for Reaves. There's no middle ground. It's either he's him or he's clearly not him. There's no like, hey, he had a really good game. Right? It's literally one or the other. Right? Like, and that's the problem. Right? Like, people talk about, Tyler, you can't expect him to be, great every night. I'm not. I'm asking him to just be good every night. Right? Be consistent. I'd rather him average 13 on a nightly basis than go out and give you, 25 randomly. Like, give me the clockwork. And people say, like, oh, well, no one does. Yeah, well, Dalton Connect's done it this entire season. He's had, a couple games where, he's been bad. But, I mean, he's still in those games, we're giving you good quality production on efficiency. Right? Like, he's still giving you, 8, 10 points. I'm not talking about a dud game here and there. Everyone has. I mean, LeBron had one this year. I mean, you can make an argument too, right? Bad games happen. I'm not talking about the outlier bad game. I'm talking about on a regular nightly basis. What is he providing? What is he giving you? He's been much better getting the assist, but he's not a playmaker. There's a difference between a guy that can make a play and a playmaker, right? There's a lot of guys that can go get you 5, 6, 7 assists, but no one's looking at them as a true playmaker, right? Like, Austin Reaves can run the basics. He can find the open man. He can get the swing pass. He can run the pick and roll. He can find the occasional cutter. But he's not out there, running and initiating the offense and getting guys in their spots and just running these sets. He gets tunnel vision a lot. He doesn't handle ball pressure well. Right? Like, he's a good player, but he is a role player. He is your 4th, 5th, 6th option on a real team. That's the reality. Again, tell me I'm wrong. I encourage you, if you believe that I'm wrong. Again, first point I want you to start with, though, is which contending team would he start on? And who over and why? Because I would love to hear that. I would love to hear somebody go, oh, he would start on, the Timberwolves over, Anthony Edwards? Over Jaden McDaniels? Even Mike Conley makes more sense for the 3 and D because he's just a better shooter and gives you that defense and that point of attack. And even if you were going to move him out, you're starting Dante DiVincenzo, who's a better defender and shooter than Austin Reaves. So, again, what team? Again, what team? Start there and then go about the points. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Are you kind of mixed in the middle? However you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot, so we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.